Hello, my name is Mary Faith Jones, and today I'm going to teach you about the role of heat stress in dairy cattle production. To begin our discussion, let's find out what heat stress is. Simply put, heat stress is when the body cannot get rid of excess heat. This causes the core temperature to increase and the heart rate as well. Increased exposure can lead to more serious symptoms and eventually death. The ideal temperature range for cattle is between 25 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything higher or lower is uncomfortable for them, and it can even lead to production issues. In terms of determining heat stress, there are three levels of heat to humidity ranges. These are 100 degrees Fahrenheit to 20% humidity, 100 degrees Fahrenheit to 50% humidity, and finally 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 80% humidity, which is the lethal range for cattle. As these ranges increase, so too should the measures taken, as these temperatures not only impact health, but production as well. So, what are the signs and symptoms of heat stress? Some of the symptoms of heat stress include lethargy, reduced production, rapid shallow breathing, sweating, increased heart rate, decreased feed intake, lack of coordination, dehydration, scours, agitation, and excessive drooling. Some of the statistics on this show that it's one of the leading causes of reduced milk production in dairy cattle. It can reduce milk production by up to 50%. It can also decrease pregnancy uptake from artificial insemination by 80%. In comparison to humans, cattle only sweat at a rate of 10%, which makes them more susceptible to heat stress than we are. So, what impact does this have on the immune system? Dairy cattle are more vulnerable to heat stress than beef cattle, particularly during lactation and pregnancy. Heat stress can suppress the immune system, which can lead to an increased incidence of disease. This occurs through cell-mediated and humoral response, which increases the levels of glucocorticoids. These suppress the synthesis and release of cytokines. Cattle have two systems called the SAM and HPA axis. These systems are stimulated by stress, which causes them to release cortisol. This results in immune suppression. Not only can it suppress the immune system function, but it can also prevent vaccines from working properly, as the body becomes incapable of forming an adequate immune response in order to make antibodies. This intense stress can also trigger latent viruses to become lysogenic and attack while the immune system is weak. So, if it has such a major impact on the immune system, then what impact does it have on the reproductive tract? Well, heat stress is responsible for a significant decrease in fertility in cattle. On a dairy operation, a shift in milk production is more obvious than a shift in fertility. However, if cows can't get pregnant, then they can't produce milk, which ultimately will lead to financial loss. During summer, conception has been shown to be decreased by 80% in artificial insemination and up to 30% in natural service cases. This can lead to a longer dry period, which means less money for producers, and it also means cows, which are otherwise in good shape, are cold due to heat-related infertility. These can be reversed, but they're often written off as another affliction, as it can take the cow 2 months to recover from a prolonged exposure to heat stress. The reason this decrease in fertility occurs is because of a link in the decrease in dry matter intake and a simultaneous increase in maintenance requirements, meaning that a shift in metabolism is ultimately responsible because adrenic response is stunted. So, if it impacts the immune system and the reproductive tract, then how does it impact lactation? Heat stress has been shown to decrease milk production. This decrease in production has led to an annual loss of $897 million per year. Heat stress during a cow's dry period has been shown to reduce total milk yield in the next lactation. This reduction can be caused by a nutritional deficit. Heat stress causes a decrease in food intake and a simultaneous increase in maintenance requirements. The body then prioritizes survival over milk production and fertility. It can also be caused by heat stress causing issues in one of the three mammary phases, which are active involution, steady state of involution, and redevelopment or the growth phase. Lactation levels can also be impacted by the dehydration associated with heat stress. It can reduce milk production by up to 50%. This leads to major production losses. So, how can we reduce heat stress? The easiest and cheapest way to reduce heat stress is to provide shade and strategically place water to prevent wasted energy for all cows regardless of their lactation status. Some producers provide mud holes or ponds for their cattle, but recent studies have shown that this isn't recommended as it can lead to an increase of mastitis. Another way to reduce heat stress occurrence is to provide misters in shaded areas, fans, and circulation systems. While it won't fix heat stress, providing high-quality forages will help boost in production levels. Increasing minerals such as potassium, sodium, and magnesium have also been shown to help reduce heat stress, as they allow for proper dissipation and prevent deficiencies caused by dehydration. However, do not overfeed on protein, as this will increase heat levels. I hope that this has taught you a valuable lesson in the role of heat stress in the dairy cattle production. Thank you for your participation. Have a nice day.